Hello and welcome to Web Relates. Today we're looking at the AskReddit subreddit. Our topic for the day is posted by EasyGod23. What is definitely not a sign of intelligence, but people think it is? Apathetic Nihilist says, certainty. People who are actually intelligent are aware of how much they don't actually know, so they tend to choose their words carefully and couch their responses with caveats. Less intelligent people perceive this as uncertain or lacking confidence. Salvador's Anteater has replied with a quote by Bertrand Russell. The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wiser people so full of doubts. Lepopo Stonnet says, being able to solve a Rubik's Cube. I say that as somebody who loves the thing. Zayadar has replied, yep, once you memorize the algorithms, anyone can solve a cube. Al Khan says, having an answer to every question, never saying, I don't know. Auric Argent has replied, saying I don't know, followed by, but I can find out, is a sign of real intelligence. Tim Lee Gray has also responded with a short story. This reminds me of when a friend asked me why the clear barrel Bic pen cap had a hole in it. I told him just this, I don't know, but I can find out. This was 1995 and I didn't have a PC. So I wrote a letter to Bic. They answered a couple weeks later, and I gave him the answer. He said he thought I was smart because I usually knew the answers to everybody's questions. I asked him how he thought I knew all those answers. I don't know, he said. Neither did I, but I went and looked for an answer. That's a better measure of intelligence. For those of you who want to know, the hole in the cap of ink pens is to allow the ink coating the ball to dry quickly, which has two benefits. 1. The dry ink seals around the ball, helping to prevent leaks and keeps the ink in the barrel from drying too much to flow. 2. The dry ink provides friction between the ball and the paper that helps the ball to roll and dispense the ink. Regular Throwaway says, conclusive answers to subjective questions. Salamander Fickle says, being able to talk very fast. Cayenne has replied, as someone who talks very fast, I assure you that it is just the anxiety. Inky Skies says, being so strongly opinionated that you never budge on a topic in a debate, or change your mind about things. Plantain has replied, yet changing your mind when confronted with new evidence or circumstances is seen as an intellectual shortcoming by most people. Add to that the amount of people that live in online echo chambers, and it's almost grounds for dismissal from one's social circle. Often Amiable has replied with a short story. Related, one of my very first interactions on Reddit was a debate about a complex topic. The other person raised a good point, and so I acknowledged it, adjusted my opinion, and attempted to continue defending my position on other facets of the debate. The other person totally lost their crap that I adjusted my opinion to account for a valid point they made. You're moving the goalposts. You can't just shift your opinion in the middle of a debate. How is anyone supposed to debate with you when you just change what you're saying in the middle? I eventually realized that my purpose in the debate was to arrive at truth, that I'm open to my position being wrong and needing to update my thinking, whereas his purpose was to win, to prove that I was wrong and he was right, and that this was more important to him than arriving at truth. He was performing for the audience, and my willingness to update my thinking meant he could never definitively beat me, which he thought was just terribly slimy of me. I fundamentally don't get why the opinions of strangers on the internet would matter to anyone. They're of no consequence. My wife's opinion of me is important. My boss's opinion is too. Those opinions are quite impactful in my life. Some rando on the internet? Love me, hate me, anywhere in between. What my tomorrow looks like will not change in the least. So yeah, I'll change my opinion. Improving my understanding of the world is so much more important than impressing people who can't change anything but a few pixels on my phone. I know I've had this. It can be quite aggravating. In my particular scenario, it was actually something where someone had posted a video of them trying to do something and trying to learn any improvements, that kind of thing. And one person replied, oh, you should do this, this, and this. And I replied to that going, okay, that's interesting. I do it this way, da-da-da-da-da. And they said, oh no, this is wrong for this reason. I went, oh, okay, cool. So this particular thing's wrong. That makes sense to me. But what about this piece? Because I still like the way I'm doing that, and it works this way. Does that make sense? And they replied with, "You'll understand one day," which was kind of condescending, and they did nothing to further the actual engagement in the conversation. A whole lot of numbers has said, "I like this Neil Stephenson quote on the subject. The difference between stupid and intelligent people, and this is true whether or not they are well educated, is that intelligent people can handle subtlety. They are not baffled by ambiguous or even contradictory situations. In fact, they expect them, and are apt to become suspicious when things seem overly straightforward." Material Muncher has said, "People whose entire personality is based on being contrarian or overly critical. Taking issue with everything under the sun doesn't add any weight or make you seem profound. You're just bloody predictable and boring." I would also add insufferable to talk to. Screw This Shizzle says, "Indubitably, it is without a shadow of a doubt an undeniable truth that manifests itself most clearly and unmistakably when an individual chooses to employ excessively wordy, elaborate, and prolix language, replete with an abundance of unnecessary and superfluous verbiage, in order to articulate and convey their intended point or message. Why waste time, say lot word when few word do trick." I must agree, but that was really fun to read out. Signal Beyond simply says, "Expensive degree." And once again, I must agree. I know plenty of people that never got a tertiary education, and they are absolutely brilliant in what they do and can explain it wonderfully. And there are people I know with PhDs who are more stubborn than intelligent. Chateau Delay says, "My grandfather only had an 8th grade formal education and had to drop out to help his father work our family ranching operation. He was the most intelligent man I have ever met. He had what we call horse sense and would point out things to me that would never occur to me to consider. He would do a thing that we call country dumb because he had a strong Texas accent. Underestimate this man's intelligence at your peril. It always worked out in his favor financially. I would watch him in awe. He was wildly successful and very wealthy. He also developed some crop rotation, organic farming methods way before they were popular, and animal husbandry techniques still in use to this day. The Cattlemen's Association in our vicinity nominated him so many times for Rancher of the Year, they eventually had to exclude him because he always would win. I followed him around like a shadow, and I truly miss him." Deducing Your Mind says, "Being good at chess. A lot of people associate good chess players with intelligence. But in reality, being good at chess has a lot to do with memorization and pattern recognition. Even the top chess players in the world admit that their ability to play chess at a high level isn't an indicator of their true intelligence." Okay, but what about the use of Morse code agitating devices? Godzilla UK says, "Talking down to people about a subject you know they are not actively studying or devoting a life to. The smartest people in the room are ones who will happily dumb things down so anyone can join in with thoughts. Stephen Fry, British chap, is the absolute king of this. This man knows so much, is super smart and bright, but doesn't try to bombard people with technical terms, save to educate. He will talk simpler to people so anyone watching can follow it." I agree that he's a fantastic guy. I just hate the name. Is it Stephen? Is it Stefan? On that note, Sean Bean needs to commit. Is it Sean Bean or Sean Bourne? Okay everyone, thank you very much. That was it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe. I like the AskReddit ones quite a lot because it really lets me see a lot of different perspectives. And I hope you guys like them as well. So I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers!